Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On the Mic with Metha. I'm joined by my co-host, Elio Canela. Elio, how are you?
I'm doing good. Actually, I'm doing...
He's doing
That's
glorious.
how I'm doing.
He's doing glorious. And we have a guest on. Elio, you want to introduce him?
Yep, our guest today is Ric Serrano from Wrestling POV Podcast.
Rick, how are you doing?
Sir. I'm doing good, but you said something wrong. It's Ric Serrano III, and I'm here from the Wrestling POV
Ric Serrano III.
There we go. Elio, do it right, my friend.
We have to get that third in, otherwise we'll probably get injured or sued.
Maybe. So let's. You guys both watched SummerSlam and NXT this past weekend, right?
We did. Yep.
Yes, sir.
What was your guys' overall thoughts on the show?
Well, for me, I have to say I really enjoyed NXT. SummerSlam, I think it was a major letdown for me. I wasn't really feeling it.
Why?
There wasn't a lot of excitement. I think first of all, the crowd being empty for the pre-show.
Yeah.
That was a major bust, and then there was no real surprises at SummerSlam. Like the four major pay-per-views usually have a big surprise, and it just seemed like
that's true. Yeah.
Other than the Universal title match, I don't really see a match that I was like, oh my god, because I've seen New Day versus the Usos 3 times already. So even though that match was great, it was still like, all right, I've seen this 2 other times.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Elio, what about you?
For me, SummerSlam was it felt like the longest show ever. Like counting the kickoff, like 6 hours, felt like it was going on forever. And then at some points it dragged on. And actually, the highlight was when Cesaro jumped into the crowd and destroyed that beach ball.
That was funny. That was funny. But what were you guys' thoughts of first of all the Universal Championship match? Rick, I'll start with you.
The Universal Championship match was amazing. I thought it was great. It definitely, Brock respects Braun Strowman when Brock allows Braun to do what he did to him. Like he manhandled this man. Great match. I don't know, man. Like the only thing is for me is Roman. Everybody loves to hate him. I wasn't really. He doesn't need to be part of that equation, I feel. I mean, it was a great match, don't get me wrong, but now I want to see what they do afterwards, like where Roman's going to stand. Because honestly, he doesn't need to be part of that Universal picture. It has to be Braun and Brock.
I would agree with that, actually. Elio, what about you?
Yeah, that match, I really enjoyed that main event, and Brock totally got Braun handled by Strowman.
I like the inclusion of Braun there.
He got Braun handled.
That's very clever. Very clever. One of the things I like about that match is the selling. As Rick just pointed out, the selling of that Brock Lesnar gave to Braun Strowman and how he sold his move, because that's a classic example of how selling in this day and age, although it's very simple, can add to the context and the aura of a match. And I think Brock did a great job, as did Joe and Roman and Braun, all 3 of them. But specifically, what do you guys think about Joe's performance in that match? Because for me, Joe didn't really make much of an impact.
Yeah, it felt like Joe was missing from that whole match. His presence wasn't there. But his presence for the promos and for the Monday Night Raws before that, you were like, all right, Joe has a good chance of winning.
Exactly.
But he wasn't even there.
Elio?
Yeah. It was all Brock, Braun, and Roman Reigns. So I didn't see much of Joe in there.
I mean, I saw him at the beginning when he put the coquina clutch on Brock. But after
I saw that. Yeah.
After that, it was like, well, it may as well have been a triple threat match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure where Joe goes from here. If you guys were from a booking standpoint, Elio, I'll start with you. where would you put Joe now?
Oh wow. It's hard to say. I'm not really sure where I would put him at this moment. Maybe with Bobby. No, Bobby Roode's on.
Bobby Roode's on SmackDown. We'll get to that in a minute. All right.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where I would put Joe at this moment.
Rick, what about you?
I think what the major problem is right now is that there's so many heels and there's no faces.
That is so true. Yeah.
It's so hard to put these guys in good feuds. So I think right now, where he's at right now with The Miz and Roman and Cena, I think that's the best spot for him. Just because there's not enough faces anymore. And look at your faces on Raw. You have Cena and Roman, and they're hated. So
this is the
whole cluster.
This is the Bizarro version of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the two biggest faces on Raw, I would see at this point are Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, but they're tag team champions now.
Yeah.
So where do you put them?
Yeah, you took your two top baby faces and you put them together, destroying any multiple storylines.
Yeah.
It ruined it.
Yeah.
Even though I love it, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Shield reunion is great.
That's long overdue. I jumped out of my chair when they won the tag titles. I really did.
Yeah.
But I would put Joe with Cena. I know what you just said, but I'm intrigued by the possibility of their matches and the storylines they would have.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think, Rick?
I think you're right. I think Cena and Joe. Well, listen, they already have history. They came up together in OVW. Mm-hmm. And it's just something that people that are true wrestling fans have been. I don't want to say true because that term gets thrown around a lot. People that know the history between them are going to really enjoy, and a regular wrestling fan who just casually watches is going to enjoy that matchup.
Yeah.
So.
Ilya, what about you? Would you like that match or that storyline?
That would be a pretty good match. I can see some good promos between Joe and Cena.
Because I disagree with what people say on the internet about Cena. This guy can work, you know.
Yes.
With the right opponent, this guy can have great matches. As we saw with AJ Styles, with CM Punk before, he can have great matches, and I think Samoa Joe will bring the best out of him.
Yeah,
definitely.
I don't get when people on the internet say Cena can't work, he sucks, he doesn't have any moves. He can work. He's good in the ring.
People who say that they either just want to complain, or they don't really know what they're talking about. Because I don't know how you can watch the show on a consistent basis every week like we do and tell me that John Cena can't work.
Right.
I just don't get it.
I think what it is that when you see John Cena having matches against AJ Styles, you're like, this is the Cena we've been wanting to see. Because for the last years, you would see John Cena have matches like he had a SummerSlam against Baron Corbin, where you're like, this guy's just doing the same thing over and over again. Mm-hmm. That's the problem that people have with it. It's just the consistency isn't always there, because when he puts on matches like he did with AJ, it is, pun intended, phenomenal. It's great. but when he goes against guys like Baron Corbin, you see it and you're just like, damn, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah.
And it's not his fault. He's being told to do this.
Yeah.
So.
But the problem is, and this is the problem with a lot of matches, sometimes the talent's ability to have great matches gets overshadowed by the amount of time they're allocated. So, and what that means is, if, just for our listeners out there, if Baron Corbin and John Cena are given 10 minutes for the match, for example, at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, I don't think that match went very long. It was quicker than I thought it would be. So say they're given 15 minutes for the match, 10-15 minutes. There's not much you can do to make the match amazing and show-stealing in 15 minutes. It's just not possible. Right?
Yeah, that match was not very good.
What do you think, Rick?
No, and you're right. And it's like, because Baron Corbin is there just yelling at the crowd the whole time. It was just, he messed up. Whatever he did, whoever he tweeted against, he really pissed them off because they had started the burial process.
Well, he tweeted against Meltzer. Him and Dave Meltzer were going back and forth.
Yeah,
I heard about that. What was that about?
Dave Meltzer was saying that Corbin's not ready to win a championship just yet. He's not ready to be Universal Champion or World Champion. And Corbin tweeted back saying, "How many matches has Dave Meltzer had?"
Well, Ilya, I know you're not a fan of Dave Meltzer anyway.
No, I've been listening to him for years. So every week, he's part of the Live Audio Wrestling Podcast here.
Rick, do you like Dave, or you're not a fan of him?
I haven't really heard much of Dave Meltzer until like probably the last 2 years is when I started hearing more about him.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, for me, he's just another wrestling fan putting his opinion out there. Yeah. So, for me, it's just like, whatever. But apparently he has some power because look at what happened to Corbin.
Well, I think Corbin, look, he's a big guy and he has something that people dislike about him, which is natural since he's a heel, but he needs to be able to turn off. In a big company like WWE, you cannot allow your personal feelings to impact business, and that's what Corbin did.
Yep. I think it's going to be a lesson learned for him. I think he's going to learn from this. I mean, he's young in the wrestling business at least, and it's just one of those things. I think he'll be fine though.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Well, how would you think, Ilya, I'll start with you. How do you think Corbin will come back from this, if possible? I think he can.
Well, first of all, stay off of Twitter. I don't know. Just take whatever the WWE's putting him through right now, I guess, and just prove that he can get through this.
Rick, what about you? Same question.
He doesn't have to do much because the thing is, he has the best finisher in the business right now.
Oh gosh,
so
the end of days. I love that move.
And the deep six.
And the D6. Like, he just has to stay quiet. You're the lone wolf, dude. Just stay quiet and beat people's asses and just keep it going.
Yeah, be lone.
Yeah.
People leave everyone else. So
don't
follow no one on Twitter.
Yeah, don't interact with people. Just do a Brock Lesnar persona. Just don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't antagonize. Just brutalize.
Going to SmackDown now. Raw. Excuse me. What did you think about the segment between Lesnar and Strowman? Because we know that match is official for No Mercy on September 24th. What do you guys think about that segment?
I think it was good. The only thing is, I love Paul Heyman. Don't get me wrong. I would just love to hear a little bit from Brock, but for what it was really good. I love that Braun did have. See, Braun is doing the Brock right now. He don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
He's just gonna come in there and just power slam you twice. Rick, by the way, is one of my favorite, like, British Bulldog. He made that move, the power slam, so good. And Braun is climbing up that ladder really quick to overthrow British Bulldog.
But the problem is, and Ilya, I'll ask you the same question in a minute, but the problem is Brock Lesnar he does not have he reminds me of Mike Tyson in the way that he doesn't have a promo voice in that sense. Even he will admit that, he doesn't have a promo voice. So I can understand your point, Rick, about hearing more of Lesnar, which he does. He has spoken, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, he's true. And whenever he does speak, he gets bleeped out because he's cursing. He's dropping F-bomb.
That's true. He cursed in the promo between himself, Reigns, and Joe, didn't he? I'm sure I heard him curse.
He did.
Yeah, I thought so. Elio, same question.
About Braun?
Braun, yeah, about Braun.
Again, Brock got Braun handled. That was awesome. Like what Braun Strowman did. Like choke slam, power slam. Like no one's ever done that to Brock Lesnar.
Never, except The Undertaker.
Yeah, that's true. Except The Undertaker. Outside of The Undertaker. Let me rephrase.
Yep. Going to SmackDown now. What did you guys think of the WWE Championship match at SummerSlam between Jinder Mahal and Shinsuke Nakamura? Elio, I'll start with you.
I was actually I got that match wrong. I was picking Shinsuke to win by DQ.
Oh really?
But Jinder just pulled it out. He retained the title. So
wow, Rick, same question.
No, I'm not upset that Jinder Mahal won. I'm just upset at the way he won. I think it was sloppy. I think there's a lot of like quiet moments during this match when I felt like it should have been more fast paced.
Yeah.
If he would have won a different way, I would have been fine with it. But with the Singh brothers being in the ring, like Jinder Mahal had barely any offense in this match. If he would have been, it would have been more of a competitive match. I would have been okay with it. I was just upset because there was no drama. It was just so quick. He didn't even get the finisher, the collapse, right. He didn't even hit it right. So it was just one of those things. You're just like, really, this is the WWE title match? And
one of the things I agree with everything you said. And one of the things I was very surprised about is he didn't. If you look, he did. Shinsuke Nakamura didn't hit the Kinshasa at all.
No,
he didn't hit it. And nope. This is supposed to be a WWE title match. How can both men not hit their finishing moves? Even if you just went for the finishing move and then Jinder kicks out, that would have been fine.
Well, I don't know about that. Having Jinder kick out of the Kinshasa, I would have been like, wait a second, this guy must be roided up or something.
Maybe not. But the point is that Shinsuke should have at least gone for that move.
Attempted it, yeah.
Attempted it, and he didn't. I didn't see it.
Nope.
Did not see it at all. So I think WWE made a mistake on that match. Certain parts of the match. Going to SmackDown now. Bobby Roode debuts on SmackDown Live. I'm just going to leave that there.
God. Oh, that was so great.
What were you guys' thoughts on that?
I thought it was great. I thought it was glorious. The one,
right?
So Bobby Roode is a face now. Is that what I'm seeing? Because that's what I got from it.
It appears like it. It appears like it.
It seems like him and Dolph Ziggler are going to be the feud that they're going to go with.
Where is Dolph Ziggler?
Said what he said. Well, Dolph Ziggler was on SmackDown. And he said about how these people have all these fancy entrances and all these lights and these fancy robes. So I took that as he's going to come after Bobby Roode, which I think would be a great first rivalry for Bobby Roode on the main roster.
But the problem is, it doesn't do much for Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dolph Ziggler is done. I'm sorry. I love Dolph.
Yeah.
I think he's a great in-ring competitor, but this is where he's going to be at for a while. I mean,
he's been there for 13 years.
And he was supposed to be repackaged, and your repackage is him complaining again. That's just not. That's not how you do it. Repackage means you change something.
Because
so,
I thought that when the brand split originally happened, we're talking about a year ago now, last August. Last July, the brand split happened. I thought this would be exactly what Dolph Ziggler needed because he came straight into SmackDown Live, straight into a WWE title match with Dean Ambrose, and then it was just dead.
Yeah,
it was just dead. I don't understand what happened after that. He went into a series of matches with The Miz, and then he became Intercontinental Champion, and then he turned into a heel, and to this day, that heel turn didn't work at all.
Not at all.
At all. Elias, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, something's not working right with Dolph Ziggler.
No.
Like I said, he's been there for 13 years. He's gone from being Chavo Guerrero's caddy to being a member of the Spirit Squad.
Spirit Squad.
To being Vicky Guerrero's love interest. Like, what else could we do with this guy?
Yeah, it seems like, and Rick, I'll get your thoughts in a second. It seems like they've just tried to do too much with Dolph Ziggler, and now they're out of ideas.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rick?
I think. Listen, for me, Dolph Ziggler was one of my favorites. He reminded me so much of Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
I just thought he had this whole essence of him, where he could have had that whole perfect persona.
Yeah.
And I think he just dropped the ball. Making him a heel could have worked, but listen, especially in the U.S., they have this thing where if you're Mr. USA, you can't be bad. How do you have the American flag on your tights and you want to be a bad guy? It doesn't work, because Vince McMahon has this old school mentality where we have good versus evil is USA versus any other country. So if you're gonna stick with that mentality, then stick with that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't. It doesn't work. I feel bad for Dolph, man.
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't think there's any way back for him. I hate to say it, but I don't think there's any way back for Dolph. Simply because his character has been messed around and changed and altered so many different times that wrestling fans are going, oh, hold on a minute. I don't know what to take with. I don't know how to take this guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So switching gears now to NXT. What did you guys think of TakeOver? I know you loved it, but like, what matches were your favorite?
I honestly think my favorite match from NXT had to be the tag match. I mean, I love Insanity. Eric Young putting himself in the match, I think that was a smart idea. I was like, how could you have a Sanity match without Eric Young?
Uh-huh.
And it worked. I thought the match was exciting. That and Aleister Black, I thought that was a great match too. I think the NXT, the title matches, I really didn't like them. Asuka, I think Asuka's overrated to me. I know it's a sin. I know it's something bad, but for me, her character in NXT doesn't do it for me. She has the moveset of John Cena, like people complain about. She has a booty bump, she has a kick, and then she has the Asuka lock. That's it. That's all I see. She doesn't sell, so it's just like, I don't know. I thought Ember Moon should have won that match.
I think I think Asuka. I think you're right. Asuka needs to work her selling better. I don't necessarily agree with your assessment saying that she's has limited moves. I can see your point, but I think sometimes with her less is more. Personally.
Yeah. Okay.
Ilya, what about you?
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like. I'm kind of like tired of seeing like Asuka as champion. I think she's ready to come up to the main roster, even with like the basic moveset she has.
Yeah.
But she's out until November, I think.
Yeah, because she broke her collarbone in that match, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that match between Asuka and Ember Moon because there was a lot of false finishes, which I liked.
Yeah.
And the crowd was invested, and also the facial expressions of both women, of Ember Moon when Asuka kicked out of the Eclipse, which I was shocked of, by the way, and Asuka's desperation in trying to beat Ember Moon. I think those were little nuances that were added that made the match for me, to be honest.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
With Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle being there, are we going to see another shakeup soon?
Probably.
Because apparently they were there scouting like NXT talent.
Yeah, I saw Kurt Angle on the pre-show, and Daniel Bryan was there as well, I believe.
Yeah, and then they showed them again in the audience, in the crowd, talking with some of the NXT superstars.
Would you guys like to see another shakeup if it were to happen, Rick?
I would definitely like to see a shakeup. I think Peyton Royce and Billie Kay would definitely be better with a shakeup, because what are they doing on NXT now?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're two people who would definitely benefit. I saw Roderick Strong with Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan, and I was just like, I don't know if he's ready. I think he should get a title run in NXT before he makes any movements up to the main roster, though.
Yeah, because I think... Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been seeing that for a while now about Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. They're more than ready to come up to the main roster.
And not just that, I agree with everything you guys said, but there are a ton of women on the main roster who they could feud with. Charlotte, Natty, who's the women's champion now, well deserved. Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, loads of women on the main rosters of both Raw and SmackDown Live who they could feud with.
Again, I say, put Billie Kay and Peyton Royce with Emma. Put them in a faction.
I can see that.
The three of them.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you guys say that?
Well, I think, first of all, they have that whole Australian connection.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
And for right there, and just the attitude, the sassiness, you can see it. They know they look good. They know they're really bad in the ring, like they can work in the ring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have this attitude. So, and I feel like it's just, there's not a lot of characters in wrestling anymore. So it's just like, if you want us to sell that we're badasses, well, there you go. You got three women right there that will kill you with their sex appeal and their kicks to the face.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be a great faction. Now that I think about it, that would be a great faction. Who would be the leader of that faction, or would it just be three superstars, three women, just kind of going on their own?
I think you would have to have Emma, just because she's been there the longest as the leader. And then Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, they do that. They work together. It's like they're one person, so they know how to work it. I think, put Emma in the front and the other two not in the back, but like an inch behind Emma, and you'll be fine.
On the side of her, kind of like
exactly.
The way Orton and Ric Flair and Batista were with Triple H back in Evolution.
Exactly.
So that would work. And also, I think Emma needs to have something to invigorate her character, because it seems to be like, we're going to have her. We saw the promos of like her being repackaged, and then she came back and like nothing was done with her.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what she needs. Maybe this is what would bring something different to Emma's character. Who knows? Going to No Mercy now. What apart from the main event, which we know, what other matches would you like to see before we finish?
You gotta have Joe versus Cena there, I feel. And I think that's where they're gonna head. And I think the thing I don't want to see is Roman versus Miz for the IC title, which I think is what's gonna happen to make Roman the Grand Slam champion. Just
I don't want to see that either. Yeah.
Dean Ambrose just became, but I was definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing Sasha. I mean, who is Sasha gonna face? Nia Jax, perhaps. I mean, she's been on a roll, Nia, so I would definitely want to see Sasha versus Nia Jax and have Nia go over at No Mercy.
Yeah, I agree. Sasha needs to be women's champion for a while, and at least until No Mercy, at least for a month, and then have Nia Jax go over, because she deserves to be champion. I don't know who else on the roster right now would.
And then we get that Nia Jax Alexa Bliss match.
Yes, I thought they were building to that. Were you guys feeling that as well?
I thought that was going to happen. I thought Alexa was going to beat Sasha at SummerSlam, and then Nia was going to be like, all right, it's my turn.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that.
Yeah, it seems like they were building a feud between Nia and Alexa, and then all of a sudden Alexa drops the belt to Sasha, and it was just stopped. Ilya, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. They were like because they were. It looked like they were building to that feud, and now I hope they go back to it after No Mercy.
Yeah, definitely. I think No Mercy in itself on September 24th will be a good show. It just depends on the storylines and stuff and things that they have booking into it. But what do you guys think for the show? Do you think it should be a good show? Or is it too early to tell?
I think it's too early just because we still have 5 weeks. I mean, it feels good for me because on our podcast, I think every podcast we cover a lot of pay-per-views. This is finally a good long break, so we don't have to do another pay-per-view. So I think we let time go. We got 5 weeks, so that means Monday Night Raw, you have 5 weeks. I'm looking right in your eyes, Monday Night Raw. You have 5 weeks to build great stories. I'm giving you 5 weeks. Please do well for us.
Entertain us.
Yeah. So, Monday Night Raw, if the stories aren't good, you heard Ric's not threat, but you heard Ric's promise that look, it better be good. Okay, guys, we're running out of time for the podcast, so I want to thank Ric for being on the show. Ric, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was a great show, man, and I hope we can have you on again.
Is there anything you wanted to plug? Is there anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, yes, like what I said earlier, I am Ric Serrano III from the Wrestling POV Podcast. And on Wrestling POV, we have different point of views. We have Tony Diaz, who is a former wrestler. He has a point of view of a former wrestler. I have the point of view of a super fan. We have Mimi Goody, who is the point of view of women everywhere. And, of course, we have Miguel Cole. Yes, Miguel Cole, the brother of Michael Cole. Puppet Miguel Cole. He has a puppet point of view.
I love the puppet.
Be sure to check him out. And also on Wrestling POV, we have new episodes every Saturday on iTunes, YouTube, and Podbean. Yeah. Also, we have one of the best things around, the pay-per-view points game, where Elio, the one I'm talking to right now, is currently the Wrestling POV champion. Every pay-per-view, the title is on the line. You pick who you want to win. It is amazing.
Congratulations, Elio. Congratulations.
That was fun. So, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. We build it up every pay-per-view. It's getting bigger and bigger, more people involved. It's very fun. Make sure you check it out on the Wrestling POV Podcast. Again, on iTunes, YouTube, and Podbean. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling POV.
Will do. I definitely will do. And Ric, make sure you check us out on our website. I'll send the link to you. And any comments or feedback that you have, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
This has been On the Mic with Metha, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.